matches with so many different people. I like all the performers involved in this. I mean, Sarah Logan's come such a long way. I remember there were people backstage at NXT that didn't think she was going to get signed because of the performance that she had against Alexa Bliss in NXT, where that match was not good. You could see Alexa Bliss getting visibly frustrated during that match because of some of the spots that happened. And the way that she turned that around and developed herself into a character that Road Dogg pointed at and said, "Get her on my TV show now." That was good for her as well. NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler defeated Kairi Sane in about 12 minutes to become the first ever two-time NXT Women's Champion after about a year and a half of training. And we've seen the Horsewomen on TV and in and out, in and out. We have them introduced as characters now. We'll get to that in a moment. From an in-ring perspective, ooh boy, did I love it when I saw Kairi Sane peeling the arm. That is standard rear naked choke defense. You peel that forearm down, you free the other one. I loved it. Baszler sent Sane into the stairs, hit a running knee and a inverted gut wrench powerbomb that literally, I had a dream the other night. I had a wrestling dream and saw this move, and it came true, and it looked even better. Latoya, I don't know that there's anybody short of the Revival maybe in WWE that works a limb better than Shayna Baszler. She took an arm scissors and turned it into a high spot. That's fantastic. What did you think of her work and Kairi working from underneath during this match?
I have to say this without making it like a conflict of interest, obviously. Yeah. I cover the Horsewomen a lot. But I followed Shayna like back in her indie days and everything. And it's I know it frustrates some people the way she works, but I love it when she just like grabbed Kairi's arm like while they were like at the ropes, and she's like just held her up like a doll. I was like, oh. I wanted to cry. It was so beautiful. I love this match. It was so. I didn't think Shayna was going to win, honestly. So the things that made it so she won were Jess and Marina, who ruined everything because she wasn't going to win. Like. Yeah, she was getting destroyed, and Kairi's sprints, like her head of fire, are so good. Like, which is just like, I'm gonna fucking spear the shit out of her. I thought it was over, and God, I love wrestling. God, I feel like I'm so uneloquent right now, but just watching that pay-per-view just made me. God, I fucking love wrestling. Jesus, this was a show that had me saying I like wrestling a lot, and my wife watched this whole show start to finish with me. And she doesn't usually keep up with wrestling. She watches what she wants to watch, and that's it. She's a fan of the Horsewomen. I mean, I can't remember if she's met Jessamine or not, but Jessamine is from about an hour away from me. And I'll tell a story about how I came to know her early or a little bit later. But Sane comes back, lands a running neck breaker. That arm scissors drop was just a thing of beauty. Sane flies through the air with one of the prettiest flying body presses I've ever seen in my life, and sends Baszler over the barricade into the Horsewomen. Jessamine Duke reaches out, grabs the hair of Sane. Sane fights off the Horsewomen, but Jessamine Duke kicks her in the head, beautifully timed, sets up a rear naked choke. Baszler is the new champ. Trina, I thought this was a good way to introduce the Horsewomen, and damn, did everybody involved in this looked outstanding, especially Kairi Sane. She looked like Superwoman, but Superwoman can't overcome 3 of the 4 Horsewomen. That body press was one of the coolest spots I've seen all year in WWE.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this might be a perfect women's match. It really had every element that you want to see in a wrestling match. I thought all the spots were great. You have that classic bruiser brawler type versus this little, pixie pirate. Because I'm thinking about the kids in the audience who've never seen these two before. And so they're thinking, oh my gosh, Shayna's going to destroy her. She's doing all these power moves. She's going to rip her arm out, whatever. And so to me, it was beautiful that there are little kids out there watching Shayna Baszler pretty much kill this little girl. Because I've been following her since her MMA days. And, for me to see her be this successful is so satisfying because she's worked so hard. She didn't really get to where she wanted to be in MMA, and to see her shine and take to this so easily, it's like she's a natural. It's not everybody's type of wrestling that they like, but what her style is so good, and she just did great. And I think The storytelling here, amazing. Great organic way to bring in Marina and Jessamine. And again, you know, I think it worked to show people who were unaware or unfamiliar with these two wrestlers. Kairi is small and she has these high-flying moves and she has this sort of pirate persona, but look, she's good enough that it takes 3 people to beat her. So it just made everybody look strong. I thought, you know, beginning to end, perfect match. You know, every element that you want to see in a wrestling match was presented here.
For a lot of people, this is their first exposure to some of the Horsewomen. I mean, there are some people who are literally seeing Shayna Baszler wrestle for the first time because they're watching Evolution. And she was a true pioneer of women's MMA. And despite what the records of Jessamine Duke or Marina Shafir will tell you, they were both highly touted prospects, Jessamine especially. I remember the first time I saw Jessamine Duke, I walked into a gym and I was there to watch my trainer fight. And I see a 6-foot-tall woman kick another woman in the kidney from across the cage. And my first thought was she would be fantastic in a pro wrestling ring. This was about 2012, 2013, and there weren't women who looked like Jessamine Duke with that skill set who were there. And I worked on her for years. I said, you should try pro wrestling. But when you're one of the most highly touted 145-pound and later 135-pound prospects, it's not so easy to give that up. But based on the things that I've seen, the content that I've seen, and the work that I've seen of them, all 4 of these women, despite their experience in MMA, were born to be pro wrestlers. Ronda Rousey has taken to it amazingly. Shayna Baszler has that Billy Robinson background where you can just transition in and out and in and out. It's just really good. Marina Shafir ended up having a child with Roderick Strong. And Jessamine Duke, I've witnessed some of her chain wrestling, and I was just amazed by it. And she is built for pro wrestling. It is a real unique thing to see. And Shayna Baszler is a woman who, while she was pioneering women's MMA, WWE would not have touched her with a 10-foot pole. Based on how she looks, based on how she works, her age even now, like I was surprised she got signed. And then they signed her. They saw how good she was, and it opened their eyes to a lot of other people who worked that way. So you could say that she's pioneering some things in pro wrestling as well. Toya, I know you've done a little bit of work with them. Any scoops?
Any scoops? My biggest scoop is about Jess and just her love of coffee and wine. So she is a woman after my own heart, basically. But yeah, I have no scoops, honestly.
A little bummed she can't do her Twitch now, but
yeah, I've seen some stuff from that, and that was really fun. I think just from a match perspective, I thought it was really smart the way they did the interference, to the point where there's basically deniability on Shayna's part, because they made it so Shayna technically never saw any of the interference that was happening during this match. So in Shayna's mind, she won it fair and square. So suck it, Kairi.
Guys, reminder, check out FightfulSelect.com. That is our premium service. You get extra podcasts, photos, videos, all that good stuff over there. Give it a glance, FightfulSelect.com. Also, shout out to Andy Quigley, a subscriber, and get shout outs on the pods as well.